You know, those guys have done enough to do whatever they want, so I'm the champion. I fight the number one contender. That's how, in my opinion, that's how champions are supposed to work.
The particularity of Tom Aspinall is he's well-rounded. He's a huge fighter. He's a new breed like me. Technical and fast, so he's different.
Tom Aspinall and Ciryl Gane could finally fight each other soon. Fans have long been eager for this matchup. Both are fast, skilled, and strong heavyweights. This fight could decide who becomes the next big name in the division. The talk about Tom Aspinall and Ciryl Gane facing each other is gaining momentum, and many experts are now sharing their thoughts. Chael Sonnen recently spoke about how people see both fighters. He thinks some might be giving Tom too much credit while not showing enough respect to Gane. And before giving his full opinion, Chael explained how long he's followed Aspinall's rise.
Are we overestimating Tom Aspinall or are we underestimating Ciryl Gane? And by the way, you have to choose one. There's no room for a no neither. There's zero room for it. Are you guys reading the things being said about Tom? I used to be one of Tom's biggest advocates, and then Michael Bisping stepped in front of me. Michael Bisping became the biggest voice between Tom, but we kind of discovered him over here. We were telling people about this guy. This guy's on an undercard. We're telling people about him, and you better keep your eyes open. Francis Ngannou was in the weight class. Jon Jones was not yet in the weight class. Sergey Pavlich was making his run through the weight class. I mean, this was the time frame. Stipe Miocic is there. Daniel Cormier is in there. We're over here at Bad Guy Inc. telling you, hey, there's this guy out of England. Looks like this sweet, nice guy. His name's Tom Aspinall.
After discussing how fans might be overrating Tom or underrating Gane, Chael continued by explaining why this matchup is so important for both fighters. He broke down the kind of challenge Gane brings to the table and how it could test Aspinall in new ways. Chael pointed out key details about Tom's experience and what makes Gane a different level of opponent.
Tom's now got a very challenging opponent in front of him. And not just a top two. I believe Ciryl Gane to be the biggest challenge that Tom has faced. But if he's not, Sergey Pavlich was like that. Sergey Pavlich versus Ciryl is kind of a fascinating match, and you decide who's better. But it's a matchup issue, in addition to a success issue. Tom has not been locked in there with guys who are in the 5-round club. Tom has not been locked in there with guys who've had belts as recently as Ciryl.
Chael didn't stop there. After explaining why Gane is such a tough matchup, he went deeper into the pressure surrounding this fight. He mentioned that Tom isn't just dealing with Gane inside the cage, but also with outside expectations. Sonnen pointed out how comparisons to Jon Jones add even more weight to this matchup and raise the stakes for both fighters.
It's the hardest matchup that Tom has, but that's not just what he's dealing with. He then is dealing with talking heads like me that come in and create an extra layer of pressure, of you gotta be kidding me, I'm dealing with that too, which is quite simply, Tom's not only gotta handle Ciryl, he's gotta handle Ciryl in like or better fashion than Jon Jones handled Ciryl. If Ciryl comes out of this match with the world championship, Ciryl does not become the greatest heavyweight phenomenon out there. Jon Jones does. The biggest winner of this fight, there is a potential that it is Jon Jones.
Responding to all the talk about his next fight, Tom Aspinall shared his own perspective. He said, being a true champion is about fighting the number one contender, no matter who it is. Big names don't change that. For him, it's about proving he's the best, one fight at a time, and keeping that cycle going as long as possible in the division.
No, there's still guys. There's still guys who want it. Maybe just not the bigger names. You know, those guys have done enough to do whatever they want. So I'm the champion. I fight the number one contender. That's how, in my opinion, that's how champions are supposed to work. He's like, you're the guy, you fight the next guy, prove you're the best, and you rinse and repeat that for as long as possible.
After talking about his approach as a champion, Tom shared how he sees Ciryl Gane. He said he doesn't think he's better than anyone and always respects his opponents. Tom highlighted Gane's experience, skill, and past title shots, stressing that he takes him very seriously. He also mentioned that he's ready for a tough fight, no matter what fans or media expect.
No, I don't think I'm better than anybody. I think that every fight I go into, and I really respect my opponent, especially Ciryl. I think there's this notion with the media and maybe the fans that Cyryl's not very good, which is just complete. I think that he's really, really good. He's super talented. He's been at the top of division for a number of years, which is not easy to do. He's been an interim champion himself. He's obviously had 2 title shots for the undisputed title as well. So I think the guy's really good. I've took him extremely, extremely seriously. The fact that people expect it to be an easy fight, I don't read into that at all. I think I'm prepared for a really, really hard fight.
Before this, the focus was on Tom Aspinall's respect for Ciryl Gane and how seriously he's taking the fight. Shifting to Gane's perspective, he shared his own thoughts on Tom. Gane highlighted that every fighter has strengths and weaknesses, but he sees Aspinall as a unique, well-rounded athlete, a modern, technical heavyweight who matches his own speed and skill, making the matchup especially interesting.
Everybody have the strength, everybody have the weakness. The particularity of Tom Aspinall is he's well-rounded. He's a huge fighter. He's a new breed like me, technical and fast, so he's different.
After describing Tom Aspinall's strengths, Gane spoke about how fans and media sometimes underestimate him. He shared his motivation for the fight, explaining that he sees it as a major challenge. Gane expressed his focus and determination, saying he's excited and ready to prove himself, viewing this matchup as a critical opportunity to show why he belongs at the top of the heavyweight division.
Yes, of course, on this point, I'm agree. I'm agree also on the people underestimate me a little bit, about less and less, and the people started to thinking a little bit. So, but I'm really motivated about this fight. The last chance, no. If I want, I can stay until I'm gonna have maybe 14 years old. You see, if I want. So no. I'm really hungry about this fight. I'm really excited about this fight. Because of the challenge.
Building on his motivation, Gane explained his strategy for facing Tom Aspinall. He talked about controlling the fight, managing distance, and adjusting his pace depending on how the fight unfolds. Gane hinted that he can challenge Aspinall in new ways, even pushing him into unfamiliar territory, showing confidence in his ability to test Tom in ways he hasn't experienced before.
I can do very well to manage my distance and go to the second round, but even a different way. If I want, I can go also really fast at the very first round, and maybe to go on the deep water with Tom Aspinall, you see.
So you're ready to take him to deep water for the first time in his career?
Yeah, probably.
With Gane's strategy in mind, analysts started discussing the bigger picture of the fight. Chuck Mindenhall highlighted the pressure on Aspinall, explaining how Gane's career path has already included fights Aspinall has aimed for but never had. He broke down how this matchup could define both fighters' standings in the heavyweight division, showing why the outcome matters for momentum and future opportunities.
I mean, the pressure is on Aspinall in this fight, and I get why Gane is saying that. This is a guy who he kind of has lived the life in a strange way that Aspinall wanted, right? Like, he wanted to fight John Jones, could not do that. He wanted to fight Ngannou, he wasn't able to do that. The guy has lost to those guys, so it puts him in a very strange position, almost in that gatekeeper position, right? Like, if he goes in there and he loses to Aspinall, he's clearly now kind of just below the grade of the really elite heavyweights, and I think that would truly establish it. Obviously, if he wins, he re-enters the discussion, maybe you start to let some of those fade away. But for Aspinall, it's very important for the heavyweight division to kind of get rolling in a momentum, with some momentum, and I think he's the guy to do it. Not only does he represent, England and all that fanfare that comes with that, but I think that he would stand if he goes right through, if it's a typical Aspinall fight.
After Chuck Mindenhall talked about the pressure on Tom Aspinall, Luke Thomas gave his take on Ciryl Gane's skills. He said, Gane's speed, athleticism, power, and technique are all earned, not luck. However, Gane usually finishes fights quickly and rarely goes past the second round, so he hasn't fully been tested in longer bouts. Aspinall could push him harder than anyone before, testing his stamina and strategy.
From what we've seen, it's been great. I don't think his success is in any way, not that you didn't ask this, but it's not accidental. There's a lot of things you can see, BC, the speed, the athleticism, the ability to cover distance, the ground game, the punching power. Like, none of those things are accidental. The one problem is he's only ever been at most to the second round.
And not even that often. It's been a lot
and
of
very rarely
finishes.
at that. And it's like, don't get me wrong, he clearly has an off switch packed into his fist, and that is extremely important. But my rule has always, and maybe Tom Aspinall's the guy to break this.
Luke added that every top fighter eventually meets someone who challenges them completely. Aspinall could be that fighter for Gane, forcing him to handle more pressure than before. Being pushed doesn't mean losing, but it can reveal weaknesses. This fight could show fans Gane's full abilities when someone matches his skill, speed, and power, making this matchup a true test for both fighters.
But I've always had a rule, and that rule is, I don't know when that day is gonna come,
Right.
but there's gonna be a day where someone matches up with you and they audit you. And even you might win or lose, by the way. It's not like an audit means you automatically lose, but you certainly get pushed to a place that you never thought possible. Aspinall's never even been close. And, you know, we talk about Donkalaev, but, you know, Count Donkula, Ciryl Gane himself, is kind of also in this conversation with guys you're like, oh, is this really the guy to push another guy? I don't know. So to answer the question, see, the little tiny window we've seen looks like magic. But we're only seeing a little tiny window.
Leading into this, the discussion focused on Ciryl Gane's skills in recent fights. Tom Aspinall shared his perspective, saying many fans might underestimate Gane after his last win. He points out that he respects Gane's abilities and takes him seriously. Tom also mentioned that he expects a challenging matchup, predicting a competitive and exciting fight in the octagon where both fighters will have to bring their best. He said, I mean, that's what he does in most of his fights. Yeah, with Ciryl, a lot of fans now might not give him a chance because of his last fight. He fought Volk and got the win, but it was a questionable win. Further, he added, I actually think he's really good. I took him seriously and I think I've ticked all the boxes. I'm expecting him to be on his bike a bit, but the guy's really, really good. It's going to be a good fight. Before talking about his recent form, Ciryl Gane explained his mindset going into fights. He highlighted that staying healthy and managing his career carefully have always been priorities. Gane noted that he has experience pacing himself between fights, sometimes going months or even a year without competing, showing that he knows how to handle challenges and stay ready for any opponent. He said, my mindset was to stay healthy, so that's always the priority. Sometimes the pace is fast. When I started, I did fights 5 months apart, and other times I went a whole year without a fight. Further, he also said, after my third fight, I went from December to December without fighting. I know how to manage this. It's not my first time, and it's always been like that. As UFC 321 approaches, discussions around Ciryl Gane's mindset and future opportunities are heating up. Chael Sonnen shared his view on how Gane perceives title chances and his focus on climbing to the top. He explained that while Gane is talented, there are certain aspects of his career and ambitions he hasn't fully pursued, including rematches and understanding the bigger picture of championship goals.
Boy, Ciryl Gane just does not get it. He just doesn't get it, and he's never going to. He's not interested in it. He's not pursuing it. He doesn't know that it is out there and something that he does not have. Like, there's not a journey to get to it. But Ciryl came out and said that Jon Jones wants Tom Aspinall to lose. Jon Jones cheering for me, says Ciryl. All right, now this is good. This is interesting.
Chael then explained what Gane's words could mean for future fights. If Jones has the belt, Gane can't get a rematch. If Gane wins, the whole conversation changes. This fight could decide his path to becoming the undisputed heavyweight champion, showing just how important and high stakes this matchup really is.
Now, this is going to be the first time ever we're going to get Ciryl calling for a rematch with Jones. Which, by the way, should Ciryl have the belt, he's now in a position to call for a rematch with Jones. If Jones has the belt, there is no scenario where the UFC rebooks Gane versus Jones. If Gane has the belt, we're having a totally different conversation. So great. As soon as I see that Ciryl said this, he's going to start doing some futuristic potential matchmaking. He's probably going to line himself with the White House card, which is going to be a little bit boring, and everybody does that. But hey, fair enough, right? The guy's one win away from being the undisputed heavyweight champion, which, by the way, is the most coveted prize in our sport.
Furthermore, after listening to analysts and other fighters, Alex Volkanovski gave his prediction for Tom Aspinall versus Ciryl Gane at UFC 321. He explained how Gane's careful, calculated striking could face a tough test against Aspinall's speed and explosiveness. Alex pointed out the key differences in how they fight, including their power, timing, and approach, showing why this matchup could be both exciting and unpredictable for fans. He said, very safe striker, he doesn't fully commit with big shots all all the time, he picks his shots. Further, he added, how does that work against Tom Aspinall? He's one of the most explosive guys. The fastest heavyweight I've ever seen. I think he just bites straight through the guard, whether it's a takedown or even with the strike. As the anticipation builds, it's clear this fight isn't just about winning a match, it's about establishing dominance in the heavyweight division. Tom Aspinall brings explosive power, speed, and determination, while Ciryl Gane offers technical precision, experience, and calculated strategy. Fans can expect a thrilling, fast-paced clash where every strike, takedown, and tactical decision could determine who truly rises to the top. Both fighters will be tested mentally and physically, making adaptability, stamina, and fight IQ just as important as raw power in deciding the victor. So who do you think will come out on top at UFC 321? Tom Aspinall's explosiveness or Ciryl Gane's technical mastery? Comment down below and let us know your prediction.